Hello and welcome to another day, another episode of Ways to Better Living. As always, this is your host, Colio, coming to you with the second part of the topic that is going to cover up in the manner of dealing, which I named the topic Copinism. Sorry guys, my brain is like it still didn't recover from yesterday fully from something I was dealing with, and as you could tell, there was no episode because of that. And even today, the problem is still there. But anyways, it's coping mechanism, the topic. So it's not that I forget; it's just my brain is going in so many ways today. But anyways, this is the second part of coping mechanism for dealing with various issues which are caused by worry, which led to many diseases. A lot of people do not understand this one thing. As I leave it without a branch to stress and the first stage of depression, even to the last stage. I did not go in full detail, but I did mention that depression has 3 stages, and majority of the time when you get to the last stage, it's very difficult to come out of that. So, and when you look at the things that goes on in the world and the way people love for others to worry and stress, because they know when they get into that situation, then once depression comes in, you're going to constantly be relying on them. So they can constantly looking to keep you in that state of worry, which you can never get out of, because by you worrying, that's how they get you to rely on them. And therefore, by doing such, mind you, I'm not mentioning this in a grand scale, but what it does, it makes that person that you rely on, or that thing that you rely on, becomes your God. So no matter if you'd say you don't believe in God, someone or something is your God. So you have to watch out for that. And that always, that person you say you trust is your God. The person you rely on is your God. But I'm not going to go too deep into that. I'm just giving you like I do, brief description of what these things are actually there to portray and what they actually portray in society. And the ones who know this uses that tool, so you can constantly be in that state of worry that leads to stress and depression. But mind you, it's not only those that it leads to other diseases that your doctor will not tell you about, that it's all attached into that worry state. Because once you worry, now you neglect everything about your own life, personal life, and you focus on that worry. Whatever that you worry about, though you have no control over it, takes over your life. And once that takes over your life, what happens? Your health will deteriorate rapidly. So I'm giving you this so you understand fully of how dangerous it is to worry about what you have. You don't worry about things you have control over. Why? Because you know you have control over it. So what benefit would you get of worrying over the things you do not have control of? The benefits there is not really a benefit, because it's not, what's coming out of it is not good 100% at the time. It's not just 90% or 95%, 100% at the time. You worrying, what you actually get that comes from the worry state is things that always affect your life, your health. Not only physical health, but mental health as well. So, what do you do to safeguard that? Simple. you analyze, do I have control over this situation or this thing or this person? If your answer is no, you don't have it, don't worry about it. Why? Because then you already take that you're looking to live a healthy life. And a healthy life is a better life living, because then you're going to be able to live a better life that is healthy. And that is my whole podcast focusing on better living. And how can you get better living if you don't have a good health? So when it comes down to it, we're going back to good health, because that is where you are able to understand who you are as a person and be able to live in manner of your surrounding, in the sense of what you are capable of within your reach and within your path. That is the only obligation you have in life. So when I give this, it's not to come tell you what you gotta do for someone else. I tell you what you have to do for yourself, meaning as an individual, or in a personal note. Make this as your daily life living anyway. For those who do journal about their day, you go, and why do people keep journal? When the word journal means you jot down what you went through today, so you could see where it needs improvement, so tomorrow you improve on those areas. That is what journal came all about. It's not about you writing about your day and not put thoughts and not knowing what you have to do tomorrow to make what today you lack not be better tomorrow. So journaling means you put down things that went on the day so you could improve where there is need for improvement. Though every aspect have need for improvement, but there are some that require more than others. So where you see the need to improve the most tomorrow, when you get up, you do that. And why? Because by you doing that, it eliminates that worry state. And these days, we have so many things we could use to journal our day. Pretty much more than half the world have a cell phone these days. And even if you do not have a recording app that comes with your phone, you could download one. Use that as to journaling your day. Why? Because it helps you, especially if you use your voice as well. By hearing your voice saying about your day, when you listen to it, what happened? That motivates you. Because no matter how someone says they do not like their voice, but hearing their own words and seeing the things that they did today, and they listen to it tomorrow and hear what they did, it motivates you. Why do you listen to music? You listen to get motivation. And what gives you the motivation? It's not the beat or the sound you hear. It's the voice. Because that's what you need to be motivated. So, if that's the case, use that as your tool so you don't worry. Because if you notice today you were worrying about something when you journal your today, guess what you're doing tomorrow? Because once you journal in it, you know, I do not need to worry about this because I got no control over that situation or this person, that whatever this is surrounded, that you don't have any control. You don't worry about it. Tomorrow when you see it, it's like, that's an improvement right off on its own. Why? Because now you see it yourself. It's not someone telling you anymore. You're seeing it yourself by you journaling it. Because I know a lot of people cannot read these days. But if you got this your gadget, you record yourself, you can understand yourself. So if you don't want to say, oh, right, then you got an issue with that, then this is a much simpler way to benefit yourself. I'm all about benefiting you as the individual. So, and the thing that do not benefit you at all, that lead to every disease, is that one about worry. So, because that's where it starts. It do not start, depression don't start somewhere. And where does depression start? It starts about to the thing that you do not need to worry about, that you worry about. And then that gradually lead you to depression. And depression, depending on how, some people can move into depression faster than others. But mind you, the one who get into it slower, it takes them long time to get there. But when they get there, it's as soon as they realize they're there, the one thing they tell themselves, okay, well, I'm at this point now, so I might as well just build my house in this rock of depression and live till I die. And that's the worst stage for depression, because depression wants you to settle with it and saying you're not getting rid of it till you die. And guess what? Eventually, depression will kill you one way or another. And the majority, it kills you by you taking your own life, which is the saddest part of it all. So, if I'm letting you know this, what am I pushing you to? Pushing you to better your life so you save it, not to destroy it. If I'm giving you this, it's coming out of love. Saving life is love. Killing life is hatred. So whoever telling you about taking his life or whatever situation because the person is going, that's hatred. Because you could teach that person to come out of it instead of saying to take their life because they're suffering. Suffering starts somewhere. So teach that person for them to not suffer. So, with this says, I will have to end this topic of coping mechanism part 2 here. And though I make sure they did to cover the whole thing in this one, but I will do one more, which there's few things I will have to give you that I only give you one helpful tip right now. But for some of you that might find it hard to do the recording or jot it down or do all that, I have another way that I will give you tomorrow. So since I don't have much time, I won't be able to give it to you now. So the next time I do the next episode, I will have to give it to you then, which you would use to benefit you. So with that says, as always, this is your host Coolio with a deep encouragement coming from my heart. I encourage you to apply these things because it benefits you in the end and you're able to live a better life, way better than you've ever thought you could. So with this says, this is your host again, Coolio, saying all the best to you and God bless.